Hi, welcome back to Keep It Dirty, a podcast where my guests share their life living functionally and sustainably, and the why behind their experiences navigating through our ever changing environment. I am your host, Leslie Dowling. I am a corporate speaker, sharing how one can jumpstart your path to increase revenue and productivity through restorative health techniques. And it is a pleasure to welcome my guests, Jen and Steph Martin. They are owners of Avocadough, the world's healthiest cookie. So it's great to see you both. And maybe you could share your background, your story, and the why behind this wonderful cookie that you guys came up with.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks for having us on, Leslie. So I'm Jen.
And I'm Steph.
We're sisters. So we started Avocadough about, I guess, 2 years ago now.
Yeah, I think so.
And pretty much the why behind it was we wanted to create a healthy dessert that you didn't feel guilty eating and it didn't make you feel bad afterwards. We got into baking. It was just a habit, like something fun we like to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we initially started selling coffee cakes and different desserts. And we eventually realized we don't even want to be eating this stuff. Things high in sugar, flour, high calories. So we decided if we don't want to be eating this, why are we trying to sell it to other people? So let's make a healthy dessert. And that's when we created the Avocadough cookie. So yes, it's made with avocados. There's 0 grams of sugar. We use a monk fruit sweetener. So our goal was to create a low sugar, low calorie dessert, but we still wanted it to taste good because Steph and I have a huge sweet tooth.
Yes, we do.
And we pretty much can't pass up dessert. So that was our why behind it. Just create a healthy dessert. Have anything to add, Steph?
I don't know, just something that like we enjoy eating. It's a social thing. You do it with your family, and dessert can be a big part of that. And like Jen said, we have a big sweet tooth, so it was a big thing that we wanted it to taste good, but also feel good eating it, and something that you could feel you could incorporate into your everyday. Like, when you get that sweet craving at the end of the night, something you can go to without feeling that guilt factor afterwards, or like, oh, I'm on a diet, I shouldn't, or oh, my goal is this, I really shouldn't do that. But you can like have that ease to incorporate it in, and still feel good about it. So
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. And I had a question regarding what was it that I guess you just had this vision a couple of years ago getting into this, but I guess at the end of the day, um, is it something that you want to diversify and add things to down the road? Maybe you could share what your goals are as you launched this a couple of years ago and what your future is with Avocadough.
Sure, absolutely. So we envision we want to have it as a consumer packaged good. So sell it in our local grocery stores nationwide. That's our goal, our vision. So that way it can be a daily dessert or snack. You can have it in your kids' lunches. You're not feeling bad. You're not feeding them crap. It's real ingredients.
mm-hmm.
You feel good about it. As far as diversifying, yes, we would like. We want to create a protein cookie because I know a lot of people ask about protein.
Mm-hmm.
Our first goal was to create a low calorie cookie. So that's what we first did. And as far as diversifying, we would still stay on a pretty narrow path, like keeping real whole foods as our ingredients. We would want to kind of revolve around the avocado theme, somehow incorporate avocado in it, or maybe some other type of fruit or vegetable in the cookie to replace, because we don't use any flour in our cookies
Right.
as of now. So in order to start
either.
Yeah, no flour, no butter, no eggs. So in order to substitute for that, we need something substantial. So that's like where the avocado comes in. And down the line, we could definitely use we've tried different things for fun.
Yeah.
like sweet potatoes or things like that. So yeah, we're definitely diversify, but still keeping the theme of whole ingredients and like no flour, no eggs, things like that. Yeah, so our next thing would probably be a protein cookie, though.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
So, quick question: who is the person behind, I guess, the marketing and PR or the research, or what hats do you wear as sisters to really work together as a team? Because I've been in family businesses and sometimes you could butt heads. So for the young entrepreneurs like both of you that really want to do something on their own and not have to be at the mercy of eventually like working with someone else, um, what what is like, how do you guys operate on a daily, you know, like schedule, or who does what? I guess that's what I'm asking.
A good question. I feel like it kind of bops back and forth, especially in this kind of beginning stage of like, you, I don't know, all this beginning stage
A
stuff.
lot of learning.
A lot of learning going on. But we kind of like both of us like to bake. So that's, where the whole thing originated in, just like us liking to bake. And then just kind of trying to equal it out. But
Steph's the creative one, so she
yes,
can
I kind of take on that role with
designs and any of
graphics and
any of the graphics and designs. That's Steph. That's her department.
mm-hmm.
I guess I handle more. I don't know what
you kind of communicate a lot. Do a lot of like the emailing.
Reaching out to places. Just like going into stores and seeing if they want to sell our cookies, things like that.
Yeah, Jen's really taken on that role.
Yeah, and I guess trying to do the email, but yeah, we wear multiple hats, but
the hat switch.
Yeah,
but we always like run things by each other. Like if I make something, I'm like, okay, Jen, what do you think? Yeah, that looks good, or tweak that. Or Jen's like, I'm thinking of it looking like this with this in the background. So then I try to put that together for her. Yeah, whatever we do, we always run by each other. Yeah.
So you really need to have, I guess, really good communication skills between two sisters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
just,
absolutely.
it sounds like you both have that similar passion, drive, and perseverance, because you need that when you feel it in your heart that you're going to do something that you see can really excel and be profitable and good for people to eat. I just know that I'm uprooted New Yorker and moved to Berks County as a teenager, and things have changed. But do you find in Berks County that people want to stick to certain foods, or do you see that the younger generation are really open to eating cleaner and whole foods and just be healthier?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a mix. I know Berks County, a lot of the older population, I would think, like we have a lot of Pennsylvania Dutch, so they like the yummy baked goods, like super high sugar, just like
the
those
Amish stuff, like the donuts and
fried like that. It's delicious, but it's terrible for you. So but then you do have there's so many older people too that are so like fit and looking for something healthy, and like they look great because they're so fit, they're moving every day, things like that. So it's really, I've seen a lot of different, I feel like there's a good mix, but I think as far as the younger generation, I feel like the majority of younger people, even like people my age, are which I'm 20, what am I, 24? Are eating clean, like trying to have clean diets, whole foods, things of that nature.
Or like being more aware of where their food is coming from, versus like just getting the packaged microwave meals and putting them in the oven or whatever. It's like,
that's huge. You're
thinking about where is it coming from? Are they local sources? Is it natural? What preservatives are in it? So even if they're going for like a baked good, they're thinking about, well, like, is it homemade versus is it just like a tasty cake packaged?
Right.
So I feel like there is that shift coming, or we're within it right now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
which is really good because I have
Yeah.
3 sons that are Gen Zs, which are like, I think it's 95 or 96, 1996 through 2010. So the 24, 22, and
Yeah, that's like,
16.
oh,
And I think now you could, maybe I'm wrong, but I just know being so passionate about getting back to Mother Earth, y- I could see how, you guys have really just taken the reins and are so on top of everything when it comes to the way that you came up with the packaging to gluten free, no dairy, vegan, nut free, no sugar. I mean, that's all you're speaking my language. And I think it's so cool that maybe you could give like backtrack for the viewers and listeners. I'd love to know, like, what was your foundation? Were you raised with parents that were so in tune? Or were you just like, I got to do something different because this diet that and diet meaning just eating and what you were raised on is not
mhm.
working for me. I'd love for you to share about that.
Well, so, well, there's 8 kids in our family, so we have a big family. Our grandmother was actually, she was from Reading, or well, she's Polish, but grew up in Reading. She was very aware of her health, and she lived till she was 90,
Yeah,
90,
Mhm.
but walked every day. Like she would still be walking to the grocery store when she was 89, 90 years old. And I do always remember going to her house and her just very like, oh, made sure we had butter up until we were 6 to make sure our brains were getting that healthy fat. Would like use yogurt instead of mayonnaise on her sandwiches. And she just actually was very like, she would totally be in with all of this right now. Like we think about the things we eat now and we're like, oh man, grandma was ahead of her time. Like she was on it. But
Yeah, and I think that just comes from growing up in the 1900s. Like she was born in 1920 some, but just her dad was a butcher and just growing up, even my grandpa, he grew up on a farm. So they just grew up with you just eat what you grow and
mhm.
so it was something normal, like that's what the way we were kind of raised too. Like I didn't notice anything different until like looking back now, like even for example, our mom, like I've really dry eczema skin, and so I have eczema. So she was always like unscented cleaning solutions. She'd always like not really buy the cleaning solutions, use like vinegar and things like that. And just looking back now, I'm like, oh wow, my mom today would be like considered, I don't even know the word you give it, but like trying to use not man-made manufactured things filled with chemicals. And she wasn't doing that to try to be like hip or anything. She was just doing it because she would read articles and just like didn't want her kids having this on our skin or even eating things like that. And we always had homemade meals. So our mom was a stay-at-home mom, so we were raised pretty traditional homemade meals. So we were lucky. We didn't grow up going to fast food.
Right.
That was a treat, and that was can probably count on two hands the number of times I eat that fast food. So it wasn't, I guess we were like we were raised that way. It wasn't anything in your face like, kids, you need to not eat this or you need to da da da. It was just you ate what mom made, and
That's part of our lifestyle.
yeah, it's just part of our
And then
lifestyle.
chocolate was always part of our lifestyle too.
Yeah.
Our dad loves chocolate, so I don't know.
Yes.
We always had
Then,
chocolate in the house.
Dessert was always part of it because my family has a big sweet tooth. So that I guess would be the only negative, that we always had dessert, but
But we're
that's
only
what.
human, right? We're only human. We need,
Exactly.
As our
so,
grandma would say, live a little.
Yeah.
That was her line. But yeah.
wow. And that's probably why she lived as long as she did, because I just love hearing that. And there's that similar bond and connection having a grandmother that was raised on
Mhm.
a farm myself. And when she came to this country from Italy, she instilled in me like how you need to just nurture Mother Earth. She showed me how to plant and have a garden, and she used to live in the city, and she would open her door and the garden was right below her. She'd throw the bananas out. She would throw the eggshells out onto her vegetable garden. And I'd be like, as a little girl, like, what the heck is my grandmother doing? And she said, that feeds the soil, Leslie. And it's not until as an adult raising my kids and really instilling that into my children who are now your age that um that I didn't put that connection. And she was such an awesome gram, like so beyond her time, just with
Yeah.
exercising and just being in tune with young people. And I think that's what made my grandmother thrive. And she was a cool grandma. She connected with people. And that's what I think keeps you young. So I love what I hear, Jen and Steph, because that I'd probably get along with your mom really well because that's the way I raised my kids. So, and it wasn't that I would say, oh, when you go somewhere, you cannot eat anything. You have to eat all what Mother Nature, Whole Foods, because they come around and they realize, like, wow, mom had something going there. Like we're healthy now because of the way we were raised, that foundation, right, of what you guys did.
Yeah.
So I guess, thinking in the minds of an entrepreneur, because I'm an older entrepreneur, but for someone that's young, I don't see that fear or hesitation like, oh, is this going to work? I mean, did you guys just wrote down what you guys wanted to do? You set your course and you just didn't look back. I mean, for someone that's trying to start a business, for people that are listening, what would you tell our listeners? Like, what were the things that didn't hold you back?
Well, it's always good to have somebody to like talk to because I know I went through like doubts and fears because it's just like you're taking like, oh my gosh, how big is the step we're going to take? Do we take it? Like, is this really something I'm cut out to do? Like, you have those thoughts. I know I did. And Jen was very good at just being like, nope, this is what we're going to do. And it's going to work. And I mean, we're still going. So, but it's definitely, you have those doubts or just, like, is this really me? Like, am I really doing this? But
Yeah, I would also say like we're still in the very beginnings and changed like our path, what we're our goal vision, like maybe 2 different times probably. And this year we really got back to okay, let's try let's start let's actually like write down our goals and our vision and kind of build it that way. Before we were just we were going like we both knew what we wanted, but this year we decided let's actually sit down, write this down, and make sure we have a clear direction. Which I would say that is very important. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it's going to change. It's not going to be set in stone, and I think that's what we still need to always remember. And yeah, it's great to have somebody to talk to, and you don't need to be 100% agree on the same things because otherwise you won't see like weaknesses in your ideas or things like that. I would also say not thinking like it's so easy to think too big, like to all like be like, wow, this could become something huge, and then like at least it kind of scares you, and you're like, oh wait, should we not even try? Because like I can't even imagine like running a huge like a Target or an Amazon. You know what I mean? Like you think like all of a sudden like you go from little baby to like multi-billion company, and it's just like, wait, I'm not equipped to do that. But good to remember, like it's stepping stones, and there's always going to be people you meet along the way, and like we do not know everything or anything, so we're going to need to get more people on our team and things like that. And that's the whole point of the team is I don't need to know everything. Steph doesn't need to know everything because we are going to have more people and they're going to teach us and they're going to be able to do things. So I guess, yeah, not being scared of your dream, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we're still learning that every day and, taking it kind of slow, just one step at a time. But yeah, I don't know.
That's awesome. because you really need to set your course, write a business plan, but that a true entrepreneur is always shifting gears. If something is not working, you then go to plan B or you take that next step. And that's the beauty of being your own boss. It's something like a nurturing something that you're so passionate in. But just what you're saying and you're sharing with everyone is you can't let fear stop you if you have that vision and drive and having the team behind you to be able to write up a business plan. What is your mission? What is your target? Like, where do you see yourself projected sales? But you can't get so bogged down into that, you know. But it's great to hear that what you mentioned is don't be afraid to get advice and reach out to people that have been there, done it, that could share with you maybe some value and wisdom that you could then take those stepping stones. And it is. I know you guys are going to rock it. And I can't wait in 5 years to see what you both are doing and how you are growing. And I'm going to wait to see when you're going to be possibly on Shark Tank. I mean, you never know, right?
You know,
Just know. Uh, but that's another thing. I mean, did you guys ever think, that would be really cool to be on something like that? I mean, it's just crazy how people are noticed and how one thing leads to another. But on a serious note, I just feel like, wow, when I saw you guys walk into an eating establishment locally near us, and just, the way that you're marketing everything, I thought to myself, I gotta have these gals on my show because I think they have a lot to offer. They're young, but they're entrepreneurs, true entrepreneurs, and you guys are just learning so much. So I'm so happy for both of you. And are you diversifying? Are you just staying locally now? I'm just curious. My business head goes on, and just for people that are listening, are you just local right now with your avocado cookies?
So, yeah, so right now we're selling in a few local stores. So about three. City, I don't know, can I say that? Like,
Yeah, I mean, because we're all trying to
okay.
promote, and
Yeah.
I love promoting businesses in our area. So go for it.
So we're selling at City Girl Juice on State Hill Road. Clean Eats. We're just doing like a little pop up there for the next 2 months, and then Organic or Good Life Organic Kitchen, which is on Lancaster Avenue. Yeah, so we just started selling in those few places. We do local pickup orders and we do ship nation like anywhere in the country. So you can place your orders online or message us on Instagram. Honestly, whatever's easiest. But yeah, so 3 local stores, personal orders, and then we're trying to get into some other places, but it's a super busy time of year with the holidays coming up, so that might be delayed until the new year. But we're also working on new packaging to be able to extend the shelf life and just get better packaging and things like that. So we're working on that now. That's our focus right now.
Yeah. Okay. For everybody that's listening or viewers, how can they connect with you? Maybe you could share your websites again. Let everybody know where they could find your avocado cookies, and then we will definitely have you all back on soon. So, how can people contact you? What is your website? If they want to order cookies, and where again, can you just repeat where they can find your cookies locally?
Yes. Okay. So the easiest way to get a hold of us would be through Instagram. So if you follow us on Instagram, we're Avocadough Cookie. That's our tag.
Yeah. And avocado is AVACADOUGH. So like cookie dough
Yeah,
at
so
the
I don't
end.
know if that's helpful, but
Avocado
Ah,
cookie.
yes. So Instagram would be the best way to message us. We also have a Facebook. And then our website is linked on our bio. It's avocadough.com. And you can place your cookie order on there. We sell cookies in sets of 5 and sets of 10. We ship, local pickup. And then the local stores that sell our cookies right now are Clean Eats, which is in the Berkshire Mall. Good Life Organic Kitchen, which is on Lancaster Avenue. And then City Girl Juice. So she has 2 locations, but it's her State Hill Road location and one I'm missing. And you can buy the cookies singular there. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, so for everybody, just get out there and check out the cookies and purchase, because I love your cookies. And that's why you're on, because I just thought I'm going to have these 2 ladies on as guests. So
Yeah.
I wanted to thank both of you for being guests on my show, Keep It Dirty. And for everybody, our viewers and listeners, if you're enjoying the topics of conversations, please hit subscribe, rate and review. And remember, get out there with Mother Earth and ground yourself. And again, we will see you soon to track to see how you both are doing. So thanks again. And thank you for everybody that's listening today.
Right.
Thanks.